Peace and blessings, people. Welcome back to the channel once again, where we talk about all things health and healing from a holistic perspective. And today is no different. We're going to talk about dental health. And the reason why that's so important is because I'm always telling you guys that disease and both health begin and end in the gut. But what I didn't tell you is that before it can begin and end in the gut, it usually starts in the mouth. Okay, so dis-ease usually starts in the mouth because that's the first place that your food choices take place. Okay, so we're going to be speaking specifically on gum disease. Okay, because gum disease leads to tooth decay. Okay, and that in turn leads to so many other down the line complications when it comes to our health. And so I'm first going to talk to you a little bit about some of the signs and symptoms of gum disease. Then we'll go into some of the conditions that you're going to be really surprised about that are linked to gum disease. And then I'm going to give you five solutions that are going to help you have healthier teeth and gums. Okay, so let's get started. Gum disease, also called periodontitis disease as well, is essentially an infection and inflammation of the gums and tissues that hold the teeth together. Okay, and it's usually caused by diet, also caused by poor brushing and flossing, that ultimately leads to allowing a sticky plaque to accumulate on the teeth. And that sticky plaque or sticky film is unfortunately sticky bacteria. And that sticky bacteria ultimately will start to eat away at the enamel of the teeth, okay? And so that is what gum disease is. Now, you probably heard about gingivitis, okay? Gingivitis, okay? You'll notice that periodontitis, gingivitis, they all end in itis. Itis means inflammation, okay? Periodon is telling you the periodontitis, the jaw, the mouth structure. Gingivitis is referring to the gums. So gingivitis usually occurs before gum disease. And gingivitis is essentially a swelling and puffiness of the gums. So the gums become swollen and puffy. And that usually happens before the dis-ease sets in the gums and the tissues inside of your mouth, okay? And according to a CDC statistic, 50% of adults in the US have some form of gum disease or gingivitis, okay? Now, when I get into the signs and symptoms, this will let you know whether or not you or somebody you love or in your circle could be on the road to developing either gingivitis or gum disease, okay? So the first thing is you'll start to see the gums pull away from the teeth, okay? The gums more of your tooth will become exposed. Okay, that's a sign of gum disease. Also, you'll start to notice a tenderness and bleeding of the gums. That is also a sign and symptoms. Another common sign and symptom is going to be bad breath and also sort of an issue with taste, okay, that doesn't go away, all right? Because again, you know, you have inflammation in the gums, you have those pockets between the teeth and the gums are opening up, which means that more food is getting between the gums, more food is getting between the teeth, more plaque is accumulating, more bacteria is accumulating, ultimately leading to, some curvature in the taste and also some bad breath, okay? You'll also notice that the gums are red and swollen as well too, okay? So the gums will become inflamed and they'll become swollen as well too. And it will literally feel palpable. Like when you touch it, it feels tender and it feels puffy on the teeth, okay? You'll also notice that there may be some pain with chewing as well. You'll notice that you'll all of a sudden start to get some tooth decay and then your teeth will become sensitive. Now, I know that I've heard people say this all the time that, I have sensitive teeth. If you have sensitive teeth, more often, you most likely have a thin layer of an enamel that's been eaten away by either plaque and bacteria, a combination of plaque and bacteria, which is causing the teeth to be more sensitive, okay? So all of those are some of the signs and symptoms around gum disease, okay? Now let's talk about what gum disease is also linked to, because quite often when we look at our health, we're thinking about it in compartments. We don't think about how when our gum health is affected, what other areas will that affect? We don't think about how this major issue could be caused by a much simpler, in our mind, issue as it relates to gum disease. So gum disease is linked to or related to a 2 to 3 time risk when it comes to heart disease and stroke. Okay, so you have an increased risk of 2 to 3 times more of heart disease and stroke whenever you have gum disease. Okay, so, and I know you're thinking like, how could this be connected? But it's so important that you realize that this body is a symphony. Everything works together, even though we're taught about it in compartments. There's nothing separated in our bodies. The blood in our feet and the blood in the top of our scalp, is everything is all connected. And so even gum disease can affect you having higher blood pressure. It can affect you having a heart attack, a stroke. And it's been shown to increase that risk by 2 to 3 times, okay? Also, it increases blood glucose levels, which could lead to either pre-diabetes or even type 2 diabetes, okay? So just imagine that. Your diabetes could be caused by you having issues in your gums, okay? Or your oral health, okay? Also, it increases the risk for dementia and Alzheimer's. It also increases the risk for certain cancers, and has also been shown to compromise the immune system, which leads to other types of infections, not just infections in the mouth, but it can also lead to compromising the entire immune system, which could lead to, it was shown that even during the pandemic, people with gum disease had an increased risk for contracting COVID, and not only contracting COVID, but also, having a severe form of it as well too. Okay, so really, really important. Your gum health is linked to all of your health. Okay, because again, how you nourish your body and what you put in your body is connected to everything. This is why they say you are what you eat. Okay, and so if your gum health is dysfunctional, then rest assured there are other parts of your health that is definitely dysfunctional as well too. Always look at it like, if it started here, it's going on somewhere else. This is just the first sign of it, but it's definitely something going on in the rest of your body. Just think of it as a check engine light. So whenever you start to see your gums bleed, your gums start to get tender and swollen and puffy, bad breath, your taste starts to curve, your gums start to pull away from your teeth, any of those, tooth decay, all of these things are not compartmentalized into your teeth or into your gums. It's happening everywhere in your body. If your gums are inflamed, your entire body is going to be inflamed, okay? Just make sure you keep that perspective. And that way, even when you go to your doctor and they don't see anything, rest assured something is going on. Because and the unfortunate thing about modern medicine is that modern medicine is essentially, it is sick care, okay? It's not health care, it's sick care, because they can only treat you when you're sick. When you're healthy, they can't really help you do anything. They can't even tell you how to keep your health. They can't tell you how to reclaim your health. And so you have to be in charge of that, okay? You have to be your own inspector and evaluator, or you have to be your first doctor and first opinion, okay? So let's get into some of the solutions that could help you have healthier teeth and gums. So these are just 5 of them, but what I will tell you is that, if you do these 5, it could literally change your gum health, and in some cases even help you reclaim your gum health as well too, or your oral health, okay? So the first things first, I have to start with this one. You have to change your diet. You got to change your diet, because the diet is what's causing it in the first place. People just don't get gum disease, okay? It is caused by something, and primarily caused by your diet, okay? We'll get into a few other things, but 80 to 90% of why you have unhealthy oral care is because your diet, okay? And the 3 primary things that are affecting your gum health, I would say, are unhealthy carbohydrates in the form of breads, pastas, things of that nature, starches and sugars, Okay. Now, definitely processed foods. So we'll add that as a fourth. But those are the primary things that are ruining your gum health. Okay. So you got to change your diet and get rid of those things out of your health. So that's number one. Number two, if you smoke, stop smoking. Okay. Because the unfortunate thing about smoking is this: it is going to deprive your bloodstream of oxygen. That's the first thing. The other thing is going to compromise your immune system. And the reason why those two things are so important is because once you don't have oxygen in your bloodstream, and once your immune system is compromised, you can no longer heal. So if your gums do get infected, your gums do become inflamed, and it's attempting to heal itself, it can't do it because it doesn't have the oxygen and it doesn't have the immune system to be able to do that. And in many cases, it definitely won't have the nutrients required to be able to do that as well. So if you're smoking, you definitely want to stop smoking. Okay. Number three thing that you can do. The number three thing is switch out your toothbrush for a water pick toothbrush. Okay. That's the type of toothbrush that it's electric. Okay. But it also is attached to sort of like a water plug. And when you hit the button for the water plug, it's literally doing a car wash on your teeth and between your teeth. Now, here's my thing about, oral health. I tell people, like, if you just brush your teeth and you don't floss, the analogy that I give people is like, it's like having a bowel movement. And after the bowel movement, instead of wiping between your cheeks, you wipe your cheeks and you don't wipe between your cheeks. Okay? That's literally what brushing your teeth is like. Okay? So you got to get in between your teeth because that's where most of the damage is occurring. That's where most of the bacteria hides out. That's where most of the food is settling, in between the teeth. So that's where most of the damage is happening. So if you're just brushing your teeth, no flossing, then you're definitely going to have compromised oral health. Okay? Whereas if you get a water pick, okay, now you're not only brushing your teeth, you're also using that water to clean off your teeth, to clean between your teeth as well too. So again, like when you don't floss or use a water pick, it's like wiping your butt cheeks, but not wiping in between your butt cheeks. And the other really cool thing about a water pick is this: a water pick is good for removing plaque. A water pick could also help to reverse gingivitis, inflammation of the gums. And it also helps to reach those hard to reach areas, which most of us just aren't good at brushing our teeth because many of us just aren't taught. But a water pick could help solve that issue. So number three is a water pick toothbrush. It could literally take your gum health and your oral health to another level. Number four, you probably need to increase your vitamin C. If you look at the standard American diet, 60 to 70% of it is processed. And that means not only food toxicity, but it also means food deficiency. So you're going to be deficient in several things that are essential to the body, and one of those things being vitamin C. Okay, because most people don't eat enough fruits and vegetables, and the fruits and vegetables that most people are eating are compromised, are grown on monocrop farms that have deficient soils, so they don't have the nutrients in it that you would hope for. Okay. And so vitamin C plays a huge role in not only our immune health, but it also plays a huge role in our oral health as well too. And most people will instantly think to themselves, I'm going to take a vitamin C supplement. Read my book. I talk about how many of the vitamin C supplements that you're taking are useless. And I talk about how the initial discovery of vitamin C versus what we're using today is nothing alike. So make sure you check out my book, Vegetation Over Medication, where I dive deeply into that. But you want to get sources of vitamin C that are like the heavy hitters, okay? And I'm not talking about oranges. Oranges have very little vitamin C compared to the things that I'm about to mention to you, okay? So you want to get your vitamin C levels up. You can do that with guavas, which if you watch my video of me on my farm, we grow guava on the farm. Chili peppers, sweet peppers like yellow peppers, okay? Red peppers, green peppers, etc. Cantaloupe, lychee, which we grow on the farm. Papaya, which we grow on the farm. And then also acerola cherries, also known as Barbados cherry. And if you check out my video of me on the farm, you'll see we have a Barbados cherry tree, and it's huge. And I'm showing you the Barbados cherry, but this Barbados cherry, just to give you a comparison, has about 825 milligrams of vitamin C. Now, let me compare that for a second. 825 milligrams of vitamin C is like 916% of the daily value of vitamin C that you need. Not 100%, 916% of the daily value that you need. Let's compare that to an orange for a second. An orange has about 83 milligrams of vitamin C. Okay, 83 versus 825. So again, like that's why we grow the Barbados cherry or the acerola cherry on the farm as well. But that's how you can get a mega dose of vitamin C to get that gum health to start to recuperate. Because remember, how we heal is through our immune system. Okay, and the antioxidant vitamin C is essential to helping our immune system do that. So we have to get our vitamin C levels up. And number 5, oil pulling. Oil pulling is a practice I learned when I lived in India for 6 months. And while I was there, I was studying Ayurvedic medicine. And, my teacher was telling me about the importance of oil pulling. And so essentially, oil pulling is really good because it improves dental health. It also is good because it helps to whiten the teeth. And it's also good if you have bad breath. And it also reduces the inflammation and decreases the amount of bacteria, bad bacteria, in your dental cavities. Okay, not cavity as in decay, but in your between your teeth, in your gums, etc. Okay, so that's why oil pulling can be essential. And let me explain what oil pulling is, because I do it every morning. Essentially, what I do is I get an oil base, and then I add in an essential oil. Okay, my oil base will be coconut oil. Okay, my essential oil is going to be cloves, because cloves are really good at killing off certain bacteria, even parasites. Okay, so I take some coconut oil that's organic, cold pressed coconut oil, and then I add a few drops of the clove oil, essential oil, and I put that in my mouth. It melts. And then at that point, I swish it around in my mouth for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, I know that I've been here in the States, and I hear people often say, like, you need to do it for like 10 to 20 minutes. That is not necessary, okay? 2 to 3 minutes is all you need. Once you're done, spit it out. I don't recommend spitting it out in the sink, because eventually it will clog up the sink. Spit it out into the garbage can, and then rinse your mouth out. And that oil pulling will be essential to you sort of recovering your health as well too. But you can't just do the oil pulling and not do the other 4 things that I talked about before. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. I hope this gives you an idea about how do you keep your teeth, especially in today's society where you see so many people losing their teeth, one, and then so many people then having to go out and get these very expensive, essentially, a whole new set of teeth in their mouth, and so, this is really good. This is essentially my practice when it comes to keeping my gum health and my tooth health as well too, because the thing is, when you go to Africa and these places where they don't eat any processed foods and very, very little starches and carbohydrates, what you'll notice is that their teeth are not only, together and not bunched up and not, missing any teeth, but you'll also notice that they're very white. Okay, but we don't live in a society where we eat natural foods and eat a lot of, fiber and etc. So these are the things that will help you keep your dental health. Okay, so until the next time, peace and blessings and Godspeed.